Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships here in Hanover, Germany. I'm having such a good time today. Just watched Anexis win quite convincingly. No, sorry.
Get beaten quite convincingly.
Get beaten quite, in my dreams. Sorry, I need to wake up. Blaze won quite convincingly in the first game. With the second game coming up, this time we have Blaze on the blue side, because they actually chose the red side in the first match. We're switching. Again, if it does go to a third game, whoever won faster is going to get that choice of sides. This time they're blue. What are we going to see?
I'm still trying to get my heart rate down from the Frost versus Millennium second game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Thresh ban coming out this time around. I mean, Lust Boy was literally just on point. He landed so many hooks. It was his Thresh that actually set up the double kill in the very, very opening minutes of that matchup. You know, landing the Flay, landing the death sentence, that is what allowed them to hold the members of Anexis in place. So that wouldn't surprise me. We've seen them ban a Singed already. I think that's just nightmares from yesterday, so we might see them banning Singed as well.
Probably.
For CG Entus Blaze, I think they might just say, well, we've just used that sort of all-in strat. Let's do something a little bit different now that we're going to catch Anexis off guard and just win a second game.
Yeah, ultimately, I think Blaze is just going to sit back and be, all right, well, we won our first game, that was comfortable, we did the other one. Just play their own thing now. Nothing crazy, no funky strategies that are completely off the wall. Just sit back, comfortably play their own game. It's up to Anexis now to step up to the plate and to really take the game to Blaze.
And to not give Captain Jack first kill, followed up by a second kill, giving him a BF sword like, what, 4-5 minutes into the game. Pretty hard to come back from that. He's kind of good at his role.
A little bit good.
We're into champion select already, and the first ban out is Caitlyn.
Yeah,
they banned their own Caitlyn, by Blaze.
I don't know. Maybe they want to run an Nivea mid and don't want to have that lane swap counter.
That's a very strange. I can't. Why?
It is a little bit of a strange ban. I'm going to see if I can find the picks and bans for Anexis to see if Akal was playing a lot of Caitlyn yesterday. It does seem a little bit strange. He did play Caitlyn in their very first matchup against SK Gaming. Anexis, he played Caitlyn again against SK Telecom 1. So it is the fact that Akal has actually been playing a lot of Caitlyn. So it is targeted, just getting it out of his hands. And of course, Anexis, they're saying, nope, we don't want that Singed.
And there's the follow-up bans too. Blaze banning out that, sorry, not Blaze, but Anexis banning out that Singed, Blaze banning out that Twisted Fate, just like we saw before, taking that away from Celiva. He ran that flash teleport Twisted Fate yesterday, did quite well with it. It was the pressure that was there. I mean, the rest of the game was a little bit sloppy, the fights were a mess, but the pressure that you can put on with that ever-present teleport thing, and even when some of the teleports on cooldown, he's got his ultimate, it's like, you're never really sure which one's up, which one's on cooldown. You've always got that looming over you. So, interesting strategy. But,
Italy banned again, not too surprising.
Yep.
And Elise.
Elise used to great effect in the first quarterfinal of the day, and you know, almost unkillable with a flash with repel. It's very difficult to gank. There's a number of escape routes that you can use as long as there are some minions or monsters around you to get to safety. So one ban left for Anexis, and they do remove Kale from the pool. So Rumble instantly locked in.
Very quick.
Does mean Shen is available.
Does mean Shen is available, but he wasn't the last game.
That's right, he was completely ignored.
Ignored in last game. The first time we saw a game without him picked or banned. But same happened for Thresh in the last ban phase, and he was picked instead. And it made quite a mess of the Anexis roster, I think is the way to put it. So that's still there. Last Boy is waiting. There's the option. And we have the possibility right now of seeing Ambition's Jarvan again, which was incredible in the last game. And speaking of the whole Tristana thing, Jarvan's my favorite champion.
I was going to say, you were fanboying a bit on the Jarvan.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I have to touch on this for a very quick second, because we still haven't seen Ambition lock in a champion. It has been Thresh.
Yep.
Okay, so now what CG Entus Blaze is doing right now is they're making a very big psychological play for Anexis, because they're saying, look, you've seen Rumble, you've seen Jarvan, you've seen Thresh. Do you think we're going to do exactly the same thing that we did last game?
Well, no,
or
Anexis had Rumble.
Sorry, yeah, you know, are we going to do the same thing with Jarvan middle, or you know, Jarvan, you know, middle being played by Ambition? Are we going to put him in the jungle? It starts to make you questions in the mind. You know, what are they going to do? It's still a very aggressive all-in type of champion. Instead of Jax, it's going to be, you know, Rumble diving forward, going in. And as Anexis, how do you respond to that? Trundle would actually be a very good pick.
The pillar of the possibility in his ultimate against the very armor stack heavy Thresh, very armor stacked heavy, health heavy Jarvan. Very useful, interesting idea. We've seen a couple of people try and bring it back over in NA, but not having too much success with it. But I mean, this is do or die now for Anexis. This is win or go home. They came out of the group stage. A lot of people didn't expect that much. why not try something a little bit funky, try something a little bit different? They have switched away, they might not go with it yet. They still have one more final pick, but more importantly, CeBIT has that Lux. Lux, who has seen a couple of bans throughout the tournament, seen some big plays from her, and Rapid Star. Again, I don't want to go back over that game too much, but Rapid Star in those games against Millennium landing some very clutch binding, some incredible lasers, and there is the potential for CeBIT to do just that. He is a very strong Lux player.
If that is the case, do you expect them to leave, their support for last pick? It's very interesting. That it's just a talking point. Generally, you leave that last pick, to counter pick if you're going to play a mid or a top lane. So there's a very tiny possibility it's going to be Lux support. Realistically, I don't expect it myself, but it could.
Not a bad option, to be honest. Those two, Varus and Lux, there's quite a bit of range in there. So you catch that, you get that full burst down from Lux, and you get quite a bit of full burst down from, and a follow-up snare in the Varus ultimate. So it's not a bad initiate, but we'll wait and see. They have got a couple of swaps to go. There's Misfortune and Ezreal both locked here for CJ Blaze. And last time we saw this was, of course, Millennium. They ran the Thresh with the Ezreal down in their bottom lane, but arguably there's more damage and more aggression coming from Thresh and Misfortune. And the fact that Captain Jax picked the Misfortune, I'd expect he's going to keep it. That's not to say he will. We've seen teams swap him around just for mind games and things before. So we'll have to wait and see until the timer starts to tick down exactly where they leave them. But it's the possibility of an AP pick. AP Peke?
He's hovering on LeBlanc.
Yeah, LeBlanc for Anexis at the moment, if he decides to go for that, the very early game is going to be so difficult against whoever's in that mid lane. Does need some additional ability. If Zyra gets locked in, again, there's some utility in that Zyra and Lux could swap, but it would probably mean there's going to be Zyra Varus bottom lane. Yeah. So interesting from Anexis. It looks as though they are saving that support pick for last. And, CJ Entus Blaze doing something a little different. Maybe pulling a page out of Millennium's playbook.
Having a little bit of fun, I think the way to go. They've got that buffer now, they've got that extra game. They are enjoying themselves. And there's a last quick switch to Lulu then from Anexis Erotic. That's going to be the support. I like that pick. You've got Xin Zhao in there, does charge straight into the enemy team with that quick wild growth, gives him a bit of a heal, gives him a massive knock-up, gives him a slow onto everyone that it hits. Very nice way to engage it. Same thing can be done for Darius. He pulls everyone into him, then you make him huge, knocks everyone that he's pulled in up, slows them down, lots of damage on there. So there's a couple of options with that, and of course, if that's worst case scenario, you can still use it to just save Lux or Varus or something like that. It's a nice big heal, and that glitter lance is huge.
The scary thing is the zone control from Blaze right now. Equalizer, Cataclysm, bullet time, the box, the amount of width and area control that's going to give with slows and everything. It is a very scary prospect. We'll see how effectively Blaze can pull that off.
Are we going to see an AP or an AD as in the mid?
No idea.
He's running teleport, that's what we're going to see. So it's going to be everywhere.
All right, well, the players are ready. The casters are ready. Our casters this time are Joe Miller and Jason Kaplan. They're going to do the most insane job you've ever seen, I'm sure of it. Let's have fun.
Thanks a lot, guys. So game number 2 of Blaze versus Anexis. Of course, the scoreline is 1-0 in this best of 3 to Blaze. They're just one short step away from that semi-final.
I'm sure, okay, it's really disrespectful, but I'm sure that step really feels a little short after that first game. After that landslide victory they really had, they probably...
they were very strong.
They're probably going into this game thinking, this one won't be that bad. Let's play some, fun champions, because they haven't really played these champions throughout the entire tournament so far. We haven't seen Ambition on Ezreal, obviously. We haven't seen Helios on Jarvan just yet. And we saw, obviously, Let's Boy on Thresh last game, but they're just playing, some fun champions right now. And, I don't know how to really take that.
Well, who says it's fun champions?
Boy, I'm your Ezreal. He's always fun.
Well, this can be part of their setup as well. It's not as if we've not seen 2 ADs coming out before, if we think back to that last Millennium game, for example. But we'll have to see what Ambition goes for, and he's gone straight in for that Doran's Blade at the start.
And interesting enough, Flame is actually running 33 ability power at level 1. That's a lot of damage Flame's going to be putting out, especially when he has Cloth Armor 5 pots as well. And he's against a Darius. For Anexis, these are champions that have been playing this entire tournament. We've seen Selavar on Lux multiple times, Arkel on Varus as well, and Overpower on Xin. I think 3 games yesterday, and did extremely well with them. The Darius is always one of those champions that can, either go extremely well for your team or just be kind of dead weight.
Let's Boy actually getting in there to put that ward down. Erotic does have a pink if he wants to get rid of it. It may or may not choose to do one, since he's already got that ward down there. Now I've got Zazas waiting inside of the Tribush. Flame is going to come in there. Darius just spotting his position. Ward put down.
And Anexis, they're putting a lot of wards down like we saw in the last game. They really want to cover the entire map, give him that vision, and really prevent Overpower from getting invaded upon. Because last game, he was really like their rock. He was their go-to guy. He was always there for the counter ganks on Helios. He was really opening up some kills for his team. Unfortunately, they just all fell behind and weren't able to really go head-to-head against Blaze.
Well, looks like the start's going to turn out to be pretty standard after all those wards going down. The late invade, of course, is always possible. We'll have to see how that goes. Lustboy and Captain Jack here going to be starting off with their golems. And I'm interested to see that they've allowed Lustboy to have Thresh again. I mean, he was instrumental in that last game victory.
He was like 4-0 and 12 at the end of that game. I mean, and he had like 2,000-3,000 gold to spend at the end of it. But every hook he landed just set up a kill one after another. And not to mention his ultimates. We saw on the top lane with him and Caitlyn kiting Overpow and kiting Xaxis, and they ended up picking those 2 kills up. Played extremely well, and you can't let that happen. But hopefully Anexis has an answer for it this time.
Well, we're going to find out. Of course, Blaze 1-0 up, and look at that pressure already from Ambition, and the Q even landed onto CeBIT. He's forced him out of that lane already, and CeBIT's like, well, I guess it's a good thing that I've got so many pots.
I was trying to think if he's going to go for it, because he's almost level 2 at this point. He could actually Arcane shift in and hit her with an auto attack and a Q, and it will finish off the kill. He is level 2 at this point. As you see in the body, and Lustboy being very aggressive down there with Captain Jack.
Erotic actually manages to avoid the grab in there. Arkwell turning around a bit of damage as well. There's Lulu forcing Lustboy to just back off somewhat as well, but they really need to be careful. That next grab that comes out could be end up first blooded.
Yeah, it very well could, and that's the thing with Thresh. I mean, it's like a blitzcrank. You create the opportunity for your team, or for even your solo lane. You have to be very passive against them. Unfortunately, he misses another hook down there, but we do see he is coming into this top, and it looks like they want to go for a gank onto Xaxis, but Overpow is there as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's actually pushed quite far up here on that turret. We are going to see Jarvan get in there. They're going to look to turn this one around as they're getting on towards Xaxis. Can they get the finisher? Yes, they can. First blood comes in for Flame. Nicely done.
And Overpower ran up there. Is like, oh, and he's going to die. So I'm just going to run away back to my turret. I mean, Overpower was spotted by a ward as he went through that tri-bush, so they knew he was coming in. Great job by Helios to really sit against that wall just to make sure he was not spotted at all. Picking up that first blood in the top lane and heading it over to Flame.
They want these double buffs here. Overpower actually flashing back towards his turret. They're going to get them as well. It's Flame that gets his second kill. Says, thank you very much for the double buffs. Have fun against me in lane now.
Double buffs and 2 kills, Joe. He's sitting on 1,200 gold to spend at this point. It's going to be so hard for Xaxis to get back in the game. He was already behind, and just in terms of picking that champion, and he's had to wait till at level 6 to really... Oh, we do see a nice land on Darkel, but not able to commit to it under that turret. And there's one thing we always forget about with the Q. It's when you get hit with it, you can't do anything, and it allows you to get a lot of free damage. And especially with Misfortune, with the impure shots, hitting them over and over again increases that damage you do. Well, at least the magic damage you do.
Let's have a look at the early CS here. Don't really need to talk about the top anymore because that's kind of obvious. Middle lane though, 23-18. CeBIT, after facing that a lot of early damage, is actually doing a decent job. He's actually going to get the binding on towards Ambition. Can he get the finisher? Yes, he can. Nicely done.
Great job by CeBIT there. That was really close. Ambition stuck around just long enough thinking, wait, he's out of mana. I could probably do this. Even an auto attack to minion, just get a little bit of life steal back. But then it didn't matter. CeBIT picked up the kill for his team, and that's really going to be big for him. If he can get fed, and he can get nice and fat, he can one-shot Misfortune, he can one-shot Thresh, he can one-shot Ezreal, and that will create a nice 5v4 opportunity for Nexus to win a fight.
But Rumble's still 2-0. We should definitely not forget that one, as Ambition will just teleport himself back into that middle lane. Overpower coming down on towards the bottom. Lustboy already losing a lot of health in this one. Captain Jack actually is going to cleanse off here, but are they going to do enough to keep a hold of this one? Captain Jack goes down, but it's Erotic that picks up the kill.
And Joe, I talked about this last... Oh, we do see Helios coming in. He's going to get Overpower.
Yeah, Helios is coming in from that side. He actually managed to avoid the hook in, but can he get the finisher? He dives on towards Lustboy. Lustboy very, very low. There's the shield from the Lantern. That will keep him alive. Erotic not able to pick up his second kill. That was a nice turnaround from Blaze.
And Joe, I touched on this last game with Captain Jack and with Genja from Gambit Gaming. They both are running these like lifesteal quints. And also, Captain Jack is going for this Ghost Cleanse thing that we've seen Genja do pretty much all last week in the Super Week of LCS. It looks like they're the two AD carries that are really ahead of the curve in what to go with. I mean, you don't necessarily need that flash as AD carry, especially with Misfortune, but Ambition, oh, a nice dodge onto that E.
Yeah, really well done there by Ambition. This is his cue after I praised him there. But either way, he managed to get out of most of the damage that CeBIT was sending his way. So that lane still in favor in the CS for Ezreal, but of course Lux with that kill got the chalice in there now as well as the boots, and is 200 gold in the lead.
And even though we had Xaxis get really far behind in that top lane, getting those 2 kills over to Flame, not to mention the double buff, he's actually farming pretty well under the turret at this point. As you see in the bot lane, Captain Jack, I mean, he has those 2 Doran's Blades, he has that cloth armor, and Erotic is already at half health. If you see Thresh land 1 Q onto Erotic, he's gonna drop.
Well, I see an overpower coming down. This could be a bit of a savior for them. He's gonna go through that ward using the lantern there to come back to safety, and overpower just turns around, realizing that he's not gonna be able to pick anything up. CeBIT is now level 6 though, so we've got to keep an eye out for those lasers getting involved around the map.
Also in the top lane, Flame is level 6 to the 5 as Zazas trying to harass him under turret. But you see right here, Lustboy, he's trying to push up. He's really trying to zone a Nexus, and if he really accomplishes that, he's going to keep them pretty far behind as Kepchak already has a nice CS lead, even with that death.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job of picking up those minions as Helios coming in from that backside. And Anexis have pushed them back here with the turret, but can they get in? Can they manage to grab anyone with this one? Lustboy doesn't have flash available. There's the pink ward put down. They want to get complete vision of these bushes to make sure that Lustboy has that chance to zone.
And unfortunately for Blaze, they don't have those boots on Lustboy to actually get in there and land that Q. So a little bit, oh, not to mention you're against a Lulu. I mean, her Glitter Lance is basically a snare. I mean, we always talk about that because it's an 80% slow. And she also has that speed increase from her W, I believe it is.
Oh, comes the True Shot Barrage off towards blue. Helios actually going to come in here, and he knew that CeBIT was there. He's actually going to get hit by the light binding, but this blue is going to be smited away. Good pickup from Blaze.
Yeah, great job taking away that blue buff from CeBIT. Going to really keep him behind. He was the only one really ahead in his lane. But with that blue, you know, not having that blue anymore, the cooldown reduction is really going to kill him, not to mention the mana regen. And we know Lux, you want to use the ultimate pretty much every cooldown you possibly can, which also limits his ganking power, or his ganking ability when he doesn't have the blue to, you know, consistently go to one lane.
Oh, Captain Jack increasing his lead. 21 CS is what he has right now. Erotic just going up towards the Tribush. Have 61 to 26 in that top lane. Zazas is really having a painful time after those 2 kills came down for Rumble.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, him doing well CS under the turret, hasn't really gained too much since he got back to lane. But he's just so far behind at this point. I mean, he always has that opportunity to come back. He has that ignite, he has that ultimate to really just decimate Flame, but he's never been that opportunity, or he's never gotten that opportunity to go for it just yet.
As blue buff given over to Ambition in the middle. And that was what they were trying to do, secure their own blue buff whilst taking away that one from CeBIT's Lux. And it's worked out perfectly for them. He actually probably has a decent amount of gold to go back and spend here. Sat on 1,300 currently. As we are going to see Zazas getting pressured down by Flame. The equalizer came in and Zazas got nowhere to run. That's 3-0 Flame. He's on fire.
Oh, he's actually overheating right now, Joe. I mean, there's one problem is that Azazis has. He cannot go head-to-head against Flame anymore in this top lane. He can't really go to the bot lane to go 1v2 as well. Theirs isn't that great of a 1v2 champion. But he's just at that point where he needs to let his turret drop. But if Flame keeps playing like this, where he just pushes the wave, lets all the minions die to the turret, he's really just keeping Zazas that much further behind and getting himself that much further ahead. Oh, the Ezreal ultimate just missing.
Yeah, Ezreal ultimate comes in. Captain Jack is going to cleanse off the ultimate out of Varus. There is bullet time. Erotic just about gets away with it, but can they turn this around? The double up comes in. Not enough. He's survived with hardly anything there, but they just can't get in for the finisher. And Lustboy actually going to get ganked here by Overpower. Can he do anything to get us away? Captain Jack actually going in here on towards Arkwell as the Cataclysm comes down. He's broke it off. Overpower doing a great job here, but he is going to get that kill. He's going to die afterwards. To Helios. He gets his buffs reset. Misfortune didn't manage to pick anything up on the way in this bottom lane, as CeBIT here is going to manage to get everything off on towards Ambition. The ignite is burning. Flash comes in. Another auto attack, and Ambition dies.
And with that, it was actually started the bot lane, Joe. We see Arkwell getting dove under turret.
Arkwell going to be in trouble as well. Can't be having a drink there, Jason, as Captain Jack picks up the kill. 6-4 to Blaze.
And Salvar playing really solid right now. We saw Michelet playing Lux, I think it was 2 or 3 games. And he's their rock right now. He's the one keeping him in this game. 2-0, was able to get a blue buff back from the enemy team, taken away from Ambition. And during that fight, we saw at the bot lane, Ambition started teleporting in onto Jarvan's flag, but he canceled it because he knew he had Salvar, you know, pinched in. Unfortunately, didn't work out for him well in the end.
And to clear out that wave, you see a True Shot Barrage come across. CeBIT actually throwing down everything he can defensively. Anexis looking for a dragon. There was a pink ward down by Blaze, but that's cleared out by the pink ward of Anexis, who start this dragon off. CeBIT going to come in to join the party, and to be honest, Blaze can't react to this.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, in the end though, it's still going to hurt Anexis overall. It helps them get a little bit of gold, but Zaz is so far behind. I was talking about that before, where he can't go head-to-head in his lane. He can't go 1v2. He's just roaming around now, trying to create some kill opportunities and open up that dragon for them. but still 96 CS to 40 at this point. Flame has a total of 4,300 gold built up to the 2,300 of Xaxis, and the turret, it's still pretty healthy in that top lane. It's just gonna be, yeah, well, yeah. And the thing is, like, it's probably go down on this wave, but he's just being set so far behind, and I'm not really sure that Silver has the damage he needs to catch him.
Oh, Lost Boy's gonna die here, that's for sure. As, well, it's taking him a little bit of time, but he is gonna finally go down. They're going on towards Captain Jack, who gets exhausted as well. Overpower gonna be tanking up the turret. He won't go down, but there is the kill from Varus. Double kill, and that's exactly what the Doctor ordered for Anexis. But the problem is both Flame and Helios are pushing him to this top lane. And here comes the True Shot Barrage across, and he's gonna get the kill. Lovely snipe onto Overpower. Flame here is in trouble. Finally at the top, shut down. That's a nice kill picked up. They did manage to take out Celiver in the process, though.
And Xaxis, I mean, he was able to pick up that kill right there. Gets him a nice bounty on Flame's head to get him back in this game. Very cool snipe right there out of Ambition. And we saw Anexis. We had Overpower down there, a 3-man push. We saw Overpower finally die. They did get that double kill, though, over to Arquel, but at what cost? I mean, the top turret dropped, the second one almost about half health at this point, and they lost the middle turret. So in the end, not working out that well for Anexis.
Well, they got that one back at the bottom. It's 2,000 gold the lead for the Korean team. A 1-0 up, don't forget, in this best of 3. Helios is coming down as well. This is surely bad news for, well, not Erotic. He's managed to get the recall off. The Lantern is going to come down, and look at this. They're going to try and sandwich him in there. Here comes Jarvan from the side, and the kill was left to Captain Jack.
Blaze are just starting to group up 4 men on this bottom side. They can easily push this turret down if they wanted to. However, a lot of minions being picked up by Captain Jack and Joe. Look at the items just we have so far. The Bloodthirster done on Ambition. In that middle lane, we had the BF Sword picked up for Captain Jack already. And just the Hunting Guys, the Giant's Belt, the Sword Boots for Flame. He hasn't been in any of these fights. He's been pushing that top lane the entire time. But by taking that first tier turret down, he's going to start roaming around. And if they go for a 5-on-5 engage, they're going to win at this point. They can easily siege these turrets down with that double AD carry. And it's really up to Celivar to keep that blue buff. If he can keep it up, then he can keep wave clearing enough to help stop a siege on their turrets.
Well, we talked about earlier on, Xaxis taking down Flame. That gave him an extra 432 gold. But he's still a mile behind here in CS, almost double at this point, 57 to 113, and a 2,000 gold difference basically between them. Captain Jack is going to be pushing into this bottom lane as well. He may even have this turret away with him, to be honest, as a True Shot Barrage comes across. Red buff was safe, but Celivar was there to back things up as well. Ambition has to be careful with this one, that he doesn't get dove on, or even worse, apprehended as the equalizer goes down. Overpower, he's gonna die from this one. It's Ambition that picks up the kill. Look's gonna land the full combo, but we see Helios going in there. The Cataclysm goes down, apprehended out of it. Can they track down Celivar? Another great life finding, but he's pulled in by Lust Boy. Knocked up by Jarvan, and Flame takes him out.
And we saw Nexus just hesitate there for one little bit of moment. They were like, we can probably get this red, as Overpower committed to it, but it's not worth it if you're gonna lose 2 members of your team. Blaze just pouncing on that opportunity. As we see them going for a push on this mid lane. Flame going back to that top side just to keep farming. And Captain Jack, I mean, we haven't seen him pretty much roam around at all. He's been just pushing his bottom lane, trying to catch up and farm to his mid lane, who, even could be their new AD carry at this rate. I mean, look at that CS, look at the kills and the items.
Well, he's doing a fantastic job. 2-2-0. Bloodthirster is already done. He's got the Locket of the Iron Solari for Jarvan. Rumble, who of course has had a brilliant time of things, 4-1-2, 124 CS, Haunting Guys, Sork Shoes, Giant's Belt. That cloth armor has been pretty much all he needed in this top lane to stop him having any problems with Darius.
Teleport coming in at Dragon.
Yeah, it's going to be Ezreal coming in there. Which way is he going to go? Actually, may just avoid the site here as he comes around the side. True Shot Barrage going to give his position away, but he'll be able to 1v1 Arquel, that's for sure. As where is the Arcane Shift? He needs that to come up here. Not quite getting the slow that they wanted, and a flash burn by Varus.
Oh, and then they still do pick up a turret off of that. Teleport wasted, but in the end, it doesn't really matter when they get that. Oh, the top lane, you're seeing Flame dive on the Xaxis right there. Using that ultimate just to clear the wave and pressure him out. Look at the level difference, 12 to 10. Yeah, the level 2 ultimate versus level 1, which is going to be a real huge factor. Oh, he gets a nice pull on the Celivar.
Oh, pulled into the bullet time. What a combo. Ambition is there. Overpower goes in. He's going to have to use his ultimate to knock them away and get back off to safety. But that old trap, he didn't really face check it, obviously, because he got locked in. But when you've got no vision and you know they were around that bottom lane with 3, that was a risky move. Erotic's going to move in there as well. Or Anexis is going to try and turn this one around. They can't catch them.
And over in the mid lane, we do see Helios just pushing that turret. We see in the top lane the same thing happening with Flame, and they're just pushing them on all fronts at this point, and there's really no way Anexis can react to this. They just really need Xaxis to be 11. They need him to get a little bit more tanky, as we do see Helios get engaged upon, but should be escaping. We see Flame come down.
Obviously, Erotic going to really help with this one, but Overpower really doesn't have the damage as the Wild Growth comes in. Helios going to flash over. Overpower going to follow him in there thanks to that Warder's Ambition in the bottom lane. He's going in. Oh, he's missed his final Q. Helios is still running from Overpower. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to escape it. Flash from Overpower. He's so ridiculously tanky there. Overpower down to just a third of his HP as he smacks a minion just for fun to get away. Why not have the extra gold? And now Erotic is in all kinds of trouble. Captain Jack coming in from the side. Lustboy going to wait here to get the grab on him, but Celiva in the bottom lane is finally going to go down to Ambition. Xaxis in the top lane is going very, very low. Finished off by the Flame Spitter. The turret was hitting him as well, and he was bleeding away, and he survives with 6 health.
6 health, and that one turret hit almost got him killed right there. But Blaze, I mean, fighting on all fronts. We saw Flame actually farming the double golems while we saw Helios running away. I mean, he just let Darius leave the lane. He's like, you know what, I'm not going to help you. I want to farm up. Dragon is up at this point. And Anexis, I mean, this would be amazing if they can steal us away, but Celiva being dead for another 7 seconds won't be up in time to actually ult that dragon and potentially steal it away.
And there's the lantern down, and that's going to bring Ezreal flying into the dragon pit. And this is going to be a further extension of the gold lead for Blaze. 30,000 to 24,000 solid lead that they have at this point. 7.5k to 4.3 in that top lane, just getting a bit ridiculous at this point. 1,000 gold in the between Ezreal and Lux. Jungle, 4,500 on Sin to the 6,000 on Jarvan, and the AD carries is also over 1,000 gold.
You know, even though this game looks really one-sided at this point, there is a chance Anexis can come back. Actually, a very easy chance with what they have. That combo of the Darius ultimate with 5 stacks bleed, and then the Lux damage, the ultimate off of that as well. You can kill pretty much anyone on the enemy team at this point, even with how tanky they are. They have the ability to do it if they want. They just have to fight the fights they wanted to, not let Blaze control the game. Oh, Lux does take it there, so Celiva at least secures that for him, and that's going to be really crucial for them to hold this game out.
Yeah, that was very interesting around the blue buff there. Ult is going to be exchanged. You have the last Whisper first item on the Varus. What do you think about that one, Jason?
To be honest, not really a big fan of it. Looking at the enemy team, there's no real armor built up except the Ninja tab he's currently on Helios. He does give a nice little aura with that flag, but you kind of need a Bloodthirster. You need maybe an Infinity's Edge. You just need some sort of big damage item because your team's based on bursting someone down and then potentially getting the resets on Xaxis. And with that last Whisper, it's not really going to give you exactly what you need.
Jarvan there just pushed that bottom lane completely out. Flame is continuing to push the top in towards the inner turret as Ambition going in here for the red buff. Lustboy and Captain Jack almost getting caught out there, but Anexis wise in their choices not to push.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they knew that 4 members of CJ Blaze were up there in that top side of the jungle as this turret not going to last any longer here as they do go for that push. And the rotation of Anexis, it's a little bit slow at this point. I mean, they can't really afford to go into their jungle. They need some sort of Oracle maybe on Erotic to clear that out so they get some sort of control back. But at this point in time, they pretty much concede all outer turrets because they're not worrying up their own jungle. They're not, trying to counter the vision. Oh, our Quell gets pulled!
Yeah, that's just dead. You're not getting away from that one. There's a True Shot Barrage comes across. That's going to clear out this minion wave. Here comes Jarvan diving in. Flash away. Was used there by Erotic to get away from that on Lulu. But they've taken the turret, and that's what they came here to do. Are they going to go any deeper on this one? Doesn't look like it. Ambition was trying to recall in that corner bush, and Anexis, at least for now, keep that turret intact.
Yeah, we do see Blaze has quite a bit of gold to spend when they do want it back, but as you see right now, I mean, they're just strangling Anexis at this point. They're taking away all the jungle camps. They're keeping the lanes pushed up as much as possible. And we have Overpower. I mean, he's behind in his build at this point. He's trying to go head-to-head against Ambition, but I'm pretty sure he actually won't be able to get this kill.
I think he will. Ambition's got no mana. And as we say that as well, he turns around and gets a kill.
He starts dancing in there knowing he's dead, but Ambition right there. I mean, he has that Bloodthirster, has a Zeal, doesn't really even need mana at this point. He's an auto-attack champion. Well, right now he's most likely more likely an auto-attack champion since he doesn't have a Triforce. And when do you ever see that built anymore on Ezreal?
Now, what we are seeing, though, is a static shift. Just picked up after that next kill from Ambition. He's now 5-2-1. You've got Rumble on 5-1-2, Jarvan 3-1-7. Support even 1-2-5 at this point. And the gold lead's really starting to get out of hand. 9,200 to 5,200 in that top lane. You just can't really hope to keep up when you've got that kind of bad ratio working against you.
Yeah, and I was just taking a quick look at Helios's items. I actually love exactly what he did. I mean, he knows that the enemy team... Well, no, hold on. Let me finish.
I was just laughing at him. Just playing around with the lantern in the bush there.
Like, he looked at the enemy team, he realized they're going for a burst on one champion. So what he did was picked up the Luck of the Arnslari, picked up an Aegis, so he makes his entire team tanky enough to survive any kind of burst that Anexis is going to put out. Great itemization out of him.
Well, top lane pushed through as well. No inner turrets left. Anexis are down to their base already. Here's the ward in the back of the Baron pit. Lustboy going to take that one away. And now Anexis have a bit of a tough decision on their hands. Do they go blindly through the jungle and try and stop Baron? Or do they let Blaze get such an even more enormous lead from it?
Well, I think it all depends on Celivar if he has that blue buff. Currently, he does not at this point. They have really good wave clear with the Glitter Lance, with the damage out of Lux, the Q out of Varus. They can do that extremely well. They can't really fight the Baron. They can't go head-to-head. As you see, Ambition get locked down by Arkel, but I'm pretty sure Arkel is going to get turned this around on him.
He could 1v1 him here, but 1 versus 2 might be a little bit too steep. Or 3 as Darius comes in there at the end. Manages to secure the kill. There was Lulu just to put a ward down in the back of Baron, just in time to see Blaze pick it up.
Yeah, and we're going to have Blaze with that Baron, but Anexis, like I was saying before, they have really good wave clear at this point. They can hold them off, but they have to be worried about Blaze just engaging upon them under the turret. They have the Rebel ultimate to slow you down and really cut you off. They have that Jarvan Cataclysm. If you don't have Flash, then you're pretty much locked in there. Then you have the Bullet Time on top of that. You have the Thresh ultimate. As you hear Ezreal, is that his joke?
It was in having a dance in the middle lane.
Oh, okay.
Not got much to dance about though, to be honest. Not looking good for Anexis, already one down. Here is Lustboy, does have his flash available if he has the chance to use it. Here comes the laser, he gets the flash, but Overpower got a flash to take the kill as well.
Oh, we do see Flame coming in from behind though. This could be very bad for Anexis.
Are they going to be able to lock him in? Yes, he locks 3 and Bullet Time comes across. That's at least 2 men dead from this one. It may even be more as Celivar going to be chased down here by Helios. He needs to predict perfectly what's going to happen as he flashes over to the left-hand side. Only Captain Jack able to keep the pace up to try and get in there for him, but can he lock it down? There's the shield from Celivar. Captain Jack needs just a couple more hits and not quite. Oh, dodges the Ezreal ultimate as well, and Celivar stays alive.
Talk about being between a rock and a hard place right there. The perfect, like pixel perfect position right there saved his life. As you see Overpower just dancing away, knowing he can't really defend this turret at this point. But, I mean, in Nexus, they're picking off kills 1 by 1 onto Blaze, and if Blaze doesn't stop that from happening, they can get back in this game.
Well, there's definitely a long way to go for them. Overpower definitely more interested in making sure his dancers get to the main stage here. Although he has been impressive, I'll give him that. The last 2 games, the laser comes through. Ambition going to get caught. The dancers, all the big charade. Flame gets pulled in there as well. He's got 5 men of Anexis beating down him. Xaxis is going to slam it home. And that is 18-12, but still a 10k gold lead.
Yeah, still 10k gold lead, but Nexus showing they haven't given up just yet. They're getting back in this game. That was perfect job by Celivar to lock down Ambition. And everyone just claps right on top of him. Xaxis with that ultimate still being up. They have that potential to start pushing a couple of turrets down, even get a killer here too, or kill or 2 here, easy for me to say, and they should be able to secure these 2 turrets.
Well, so far looking good for them. Lustboy actually getting initiated on there by Overpower, going to throw the box in, but the CC coming out of Anexis is pretty damn high. Jarvan ultimate comes in. Here is Misfortune from the side. They get the 1 kill, but they risk dying more here. Double kill from Misfortune. Can Captain Jack escape from this one? There's a true shot barrage. Captain Jack is going to make it 3. Can he take the 4th here onto Xaxis? I think he can. Xaxis got absolutely no mana. There is the quadra kill. He may even be able to chase through here for that Penta. Arkwell just off to the side. What's he got to really go for this? No Ghost available, but he may just be able to sneak it down, or Ambition can come in and steal it away from him. He gets slowed by Arkwell, but here comes Ambition. He's not escaping this one, and that will be an ace for CJ Blaze.
And right as we talk about Nexus getting back into the game, getting those kills, they got kited so hard by Captain Jack right there. Perfect positioning by him, and that shows you why he's one of the best, if not the best, AD carry in the world. Bot lane pushing up very heavily as the rest of Blaze pushes up this mid lane here, and they should be able to get an inhibitor turret off this. This one in the middle is already low.
That last fight was like 5 versus 2, 5 versus 1, and
he was like 5 on 3.
Yeah. They just all died to it, and that just shows you really how far ahead here Blaze are, as we can see Overpower coming in once again on towards Flame, but he just turns around, goes in onto Overpower. Can he get the kill? Wild Growth does in fact come down in the end. Xaxus is right in the middle of them. A laser comes across. Xaxus is gonna fall there. It was a lantern thrown in his direction. It looked like it was a lantern that killed him. Smacked him on the head with a lantern. Flame gets ulted up by Varus, gonna switch to Ambition. Not gonna be followed up though. Only 3 men alive at this point for Anexis. Blaze are rocking this one. Where are they going next? Top turret, of course, is down to that inhibitor. Minion's gonna come through, and Blaze gonna look for that second one here.
Thing is, that last fight we did see in the mid lane, and Nexus could have taken that. They really could have. The only problem was Xaxus actually missed his ultimate. He hit it, but didn't get the kill with it, so he lost the reset. If he had that up, he could have killed Captain Jack. And then also this last engage you just saw, he could have 1v1 Captain Jack right there, finished him off, switched on to the next target. But it was just all because of that one missed ultimate that it really just snowballed out of his favor.
But I don't think he can 1v1 Captain Jack.
Oh, no. Well, he had him at about a third health right there, but didn't have his ultimate available to do anything. That's why I'm saying if he had it up, probably could have gotten that kill. He would have died eventually anyways, but that really is a big thing. Like, they're depending on Xaxus to get that reset and Celevar to catch someone with that light binding. And if they do it, we've seen it happen, they will get the kills. But if they fail it, then it's just going to go horribly wrong for them.
Blade of the Ruined King picked up, as well as that Bloodthirst, the Last Whisper, double Doran's Blade for Misfortune for Ezreal. Similar thing. Last Whisper, Bloodthirster, and that Static Shiv. Over on the other side, Blade of the Ruined King and the Last Whisper. What do you think to this build from Varus?
To be honest, not really a big fan of it. I mean, you need some sort of sustain against this team. They have that Rumble Ultimate to hit you. I mean, you need lifesteal in this situation. He doesn't have any at this point with that Doran's Blade alone. He needs something to really keep his sustain up and be able to fight. Oh, sorry, he does have the Blade of the Ruined King. He does have that 10%, but in the end, you need some attack speed on him as well. And you need to be able to crit, especially with that Last Whisper. If he can farm up, that Last Whisper is going to be, worth it in the end, but he hasn't been able to yet. He's been limited to 157 farm at this point, 8,000 gold total to 11,700 of his counterpart.
Jarvan pushing the middle lane. Ambition going to be pushing that bottom lane through as well here with the double buff. Flame is on his own in the middle. Actually, I say he's alone. Captain Jack is there. They're going to try and close Jarvan in. The Overpower going in towards Helios, to be honest, doesn't do all that much damage. See why with the build, all defensive items, all tanky items coming out for Xin at this point. Here is Ambition though, will land a couple of abilities on towards Erotic, and he's going to just dive away with that Arcane Shift. But Erotic really piling the pressure on. Here is Helios, actually he's going to put the Cataclysm down. Overpower flashes away from it, definitely worth it from Helios there. Got hit with a light binding at the end, but they have got not a lot to work with, I think we can call it here in Anexis in terms of what's left of their base. There's the binding coming across. Lustboy going to get hit. The laser was about half a mile from its target, as we are going to see the combination of Misfortune and Ezreal to pick up the kill. They take the turret. The box is down here as well from Lustboy, and this inhibitor completely open for the taking for CJ Entus Plays. Are they going to go into the semi-finals here with this push? Erotic goes down. It's Ambition that picks that one up to go on a killing spree. Captain Jack does finish off the inhibitor. Are they going to try and finish the game, or are they going to go to the top side where they can have the third and final inhibitor taken away? Actually, Overpower coming straight in here on towards Flame, who just turns around the damage. Overpower very low. Zhonya's Hourglass used by Flame to keep himself safe. There is the Randuin's used by Xaxus, but he's pulled back into him. The damage is going to be enough. He uses the ultimate. That won't get him any kills, but Overpower comes back from the base. Captain Jack using the cleanse there, but they turn it around again. Overpower going to get destroyed. Ambition in the meantime was hammering away on towards Arkwell. There are 4 men down. It's now only Celevar, but they've got no Nexus turrets left up, and Blaze are focusing it down. They are going to be taking the victory here unless Celevar can pull out some absolute miracle. There is Lulu taken down. The Nexus going to fall, and Blaze 2-0 Anexis here and move through into tomorrow's semi-final to take on SK Telecom T1.
Yeah, moving on to the semis with their sister-brother team, however you want to call them, with Frost. Well played in general by Blaze right there. It seemed like, unfortunately, Anexis just got out-skilled in both games. But still, I mean, Anexis has to be very proud of how they performed here in the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. We didn't expect them. I think most people didn't expect them to get through the group stage, but they showed everyone that they're a great team, and we knew that back from Singapore, and they've showed it yet again.
Yeah, really showing some great results. They've got nothing to be ashamed of, that's for sure. But think Blaze was just one step too far for them here. They or 2 or 3 steps too far, I think we can safely say maybe. But that's it for us here at the casting desk for the quarterfinals. We're going to go over to Jarrett, Kale, Panky, and Quickshot to bring you all the analysis.
CJ Entus Blaze crushing their quarterfinal opponent. There's really no other way to put it. Maybe expected, maybe not. I had hoped for some more magic. Today didn't happen. But do you know what that means? That means that tomorrow morning, Blaze will face SK Telecom T1 in the semifinal. And you know what that means? That means Reaper is going to play his old team.
Yeah, definitely. Used to actually be the top laner for Azubu Blaze many months ago, actually. Probably, I think, August, September,
Right back.
October last year. So
October was IEM Cologne, and that's SK Telecom T1.
there we go. So it would have been, leading up to October, left the team and started up SK Telecom Team 1. And we're going to see how they perform. But that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Let's quickly touch on the game
Yes.
that just happened. Let's be very honest about it. CJ Entus Blaze, they picked a composition that they could have some fun with. They had the ability to carry pretty much in every single lane. They got a double kill on that Rumble very early on and were able to just snowball that lane very heavily. Even though Anexis made a couple of plays, it always just felt like Blaze was setting the tone, setting the pace, and making things happen.
Yeah, Blaze was just enjoying himself. It's a strong comp, so if it did come down to the fact that Nexus kept it close, then they'd be fine. They could still take it anyway. And there were a couple of points when it was like, oh, maybe we just stop messing around a bit, properly take this, taking the edge of the base, taking the inhibitors, those kind of things. But yeah, they had some fun. We saw in the mid lane about 20 minutes in, Ambition gets caught, blown up, 5v4. Rumble goes in, gets caught, blown up. The other 3 players, all right, back off. Misfortune, Jarvan, Thresh all leave. Last Boy goes to defend the mid turrets on his own. Jarvan and Misfortune decide, you know what, 2 turrets in the mid lane, not important, we'll get Dragon. Just right there you can see they were enjoying themselves a bit more than taking this seriously. They did lose 2 turrets for it, and then they came back. Thresh gets caught, Thresh gets killed under that turret. 2v5, Jarvan, Misfortune, Captain Jag, Ambition go, we can do this. And they do. They go in 2v5, and they, unfortunately, it sounds harsh, but they just outplayed Anexis.
That was the team fight where Anexis thought they could catch Captain Jack Sparrow.
And they could not. He got a quadra kill there.
You got a quadra kill there.
Quadra kill indeed. So very, very well played by them. CJ Entus Blaze are going to be advancing. We're just waiting to, I believe it's to get Captain Jack on stage for an interview.
Yes, I think Shox will be standing by with Captain Jack, the man who makes me question my own sexuality.
He is a monster in the AD carry lane, and he's definitely got a very big fan base over on this side of the world. While we wait for that, we do have another best of 3 coming your way in a little bit. It's going to be the first semi-final of the day.
Yes. Between Gambit Gaming
and Frost.
CJ Entus Frost, that is going to be the game of the day.
Now, this particular matchup as well, it's going to be a complete redo of the IEM Katowice semi-finals and grand final with Gambit Gaming and Frost on one side of the bracket, Blaze and Insert Team. At Katowice it was Fnatic. This time around it's SKT T1 that's going to be on that side. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, and I'm definitely excited to watch it.
Yeah, there's a possibility of Gambit going 2-0, 2-0 again, if that comes around to it, but first we've got to get this semi-final out of the way. However, with with 4 teams left, with SK Telecom Team 1, CJ Entus Frost, CJ Entus Blaze, and now Gambit Gaming, remember to tweet at us, guys, #IEM, who do you think will be this season's champion? You've got tomorrow morning, MVP vote's going to come up.
Yep.
There's all these kind of votes going through, there's lots of opinions, and you've got that field narrowing down now.
I think I'm a bit torn. If I had to put my money on the table, my heart tells me SKT T1, my head tells me Gambit. I think Reaper is going to put on a show tomorrow. I'm going to go out there and say it.
My heart says Gambit strongly. My head's saying Blaze.
And Panky?
I've just got to stick with Gambit through and through, without a doubt. Stick with the European pride, stick with the past performances, the way they played in the group stage.
Well, you are the European on the desk.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to stick with Gambit. Reigning champions, come back to defend, won every IEM they've entered. Just kind of, the numbers follow it.
Yep. All right, well, we're going to toss it to the stage where Shox is waiting with my man, Captain Jack Sparrow.
Thank you. I am here with Captain Jack, the AD carry. Now, Captain Jack, first off, beating Anexis, which has been the surprise in the tournament. What were your thoughts on their team?
Anexis 별로 유명한 팀 아니지만 근데 8강 올라와서 그거 Anexis 만난 거를 어떻게 생각하시는지요?
일단 되게 되게 모르는 팀이어서 상대가 어떤 픽을 하고 나올지 잘 감이 안 와서요. 그래서 이번 그래도 방심하지 않고 그 걔네가 뽑아온 그 경기나 그런 거 전부 봤고 그래서 이러이러한 조합으로 상대방을 이기자 해가지고 준비를 철저히 했습니다.
Well, actually, Anexis, they're not that famous, so they didn't know what they're going to pick, what they're going to ban. So the games that they had, they were like studying them and checking them out, like what they're going to pick and ban, and they just prepared for them as good as they can, and it worked out well.
You played Caitlyn and Miss Fortune. You had Thresh in your team 2 times. Can you elaborate a little bit about, are those the 2 strongest AD carries you think, and how important is Thresh to your team comp?
지금 미스 포춘과 케이틀린 2번 뽑았잖아요. 그래서 미스 포춘과 케이틀린가 지금 AD 캐리 중에서 제일 센지, 그리고 트래쉬 스포트가 얼마나 중요한지요.
일단 AD 캐리는 누가 제일 세다라고 말할 수는 없고요. 그래서 제 손에 잘 맞는 캐릭터이기 때문에 했을 뿐이고, 쓰레쉬 같은 경우 라인전에서 그렇게 엄청 강하진 않지만 그래도 한타나 그냥 여러모로 봤을 때 되게 좋은 평가를 받고 있어서 저희 팀에도 항상 고르고 있습니다.
Well, actually, it's hard to say if Miss Fortune and Caitlyn are the best AD carries. It's just more that Miss Fortune and Caitlyn fits him better than the other ones. And Thresh is like, he might not be that as good in laning, but like for ganking and stuff, he's really strong, and that's one of the reasons why they pick him.
In your semi-final, you will be going up against SK Telecom T1, which has Reaper on the team. There's history there between you 2 teams. So how are you prepared for that? How hard do you think that matchup is going to be?
지금 4강에서 SK텔레콤랑 만날 건데요. SK텔레콤 옛날 리파 선수가 옛날 아즈우보 팀이었는데요. 그거 어떻게 생각하는지, 그리고 뭐 준비해놓은 거 있는지요?
일단 제가 SKT 텔레콤 상대로 되게 준비를 철저하게 하고 있고요. 그리고 예전부터 그 복한규 선수가 저희 팀에 나가면서 저희 팀이 뭐 오더가 없어져서 팀이 약해졌다 이런 소리가 꽤 많았는데 이번 경기를 통해서 꼭 그러지 않다는 걸 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
Well, he's really looking forward to the match against SK Telecom, and when Reaper left the team, Reaper said that the team is like they're not performing that well, and for Captain Jack and for his team, it's like time for them to show them that they are still good enough, and they're gonna try their best.
Thank you very much. Now, that was the round of 6 here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. But of course, we have our first semi-final coming up in a bit. It's going to be Gambit taking on CJ Entus Frost after the break. Don't go anywhere.